Yeah, spectator. Well, we gotta get Timmy in before he gets knocked out. Everybody wants to see this one because the forums decided on the decks that he was going to be playing. Everybody submitted lots of wacky decks that they wanted to see Timmy, Master of Jank, bring to the tournament. See if he can't win with their Jank. Um, so let's take a look. I mean, he beat Kalimsha in round one. He split the match. So a very noteworthy player, Kalimsha, coming up with the modern prepaid breaker suite and stuff like that. Just basically a really tight build that people are copying card for card all over the place. And Timmy Wong just steps in and apparently takes a game from him out of nowhere with one of his wacky decks.
That's amazing. I love it.
I know. This is why we play the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they'll be putting their game together now. It looks like Timmy's loaded his decks, and we're waiting on Corvus. Tell him to share hands.
All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so there's the Quetzal, and we got the RP out.
All right, so Timmy's hands is up. We got Quetzal. He's got a pretty interesting one. He's got his Duggars, which is going to help him, find everything he needs, and his Echo Mine, which could help him when he gets his hand bigger. But right now, he has no way of increasing his hand size. Only Stim Hand, which will decrease his hand size. So we'll see what he thinks about keeping this hand. He likes it.
He likes it. Oh, okay.
Well, you can't ask for too much when you're playing this sort of deck. His opponent is playing a pretty classic-looking RP. He's got Excalibur, but probably no other Grails considering the wraparound. But this hand is really good. Celebrity Gift, Sundew, 4 pieces of ice. That's just what you want to see.
It's really good.
Yeah. The thing is when you play against Quetzal, you're not really sure what they're doing, right? There's not like an established Quetzal build. So he doesn't want to take the chance of playing Celebrity Gift on the first turn, and instead is going to ice up HQ and R&D with the Eli, HQ with the Quandary. The Quandary will have a little more stopping power against Quetzal in case he's playing a Count Siphon or something.
Yeah, which we just saw in the last match, and that was just brutal, backbreaking.
Dean, do you have the right image up?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm on top of that. Don't worry.
All right. Yeah, Anthony is just flipping out.
No, we got the right one going.
All right. Oh, so he decides to leave up HQ instead. He puts the Sundew out with the Quandary in front of it. That's interesting. So he's not going to get punished for this. There's no siphons in Timmy's deck.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy will take a pot shot at HQ just to see what's going on, and obviously just going to see a piece of ice or a Celebrity Gift there.
Yeah.
But he wanted to check that Sundew remote. This is a pretty reasonable thing to do. You don't want to let RP run away with a ton of money. But man, this is like really, really, really taxing. Just having to go to HQ and like waste time. Now he's not going to be able to Parasite and get to the Sundew on this turn, which means he's going to have to try and come back another turn if he wants to get it, and that's just going to take half the turn, something like that.
Yeah, it's quite annoying.
Very. That's RP for you.
Now we're gonna run into R&D here, and I know it's Eli, so even with the Quetzal ability, no clicks left.
Login rejected.
Through the ice.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. I think if you wanted to poke R&D, maybe it would have been better to do it next turn if you do plan on parasiting the Quandary and killing the Sundew. But considering Timmy's deck, he might let RP run away with the money and just try and deep dig R&D.
Yeah, why not?
You're definitely going to have to win a couple future perfect side game if you want to win this, though, as Timmy.
So Corp just chooses just to get 3 credits on this turn, and we're going to pass it over to Timmy. Now, I'm really interested to see, because I have not seen this deck in action, but seeing an Echo Mine and Duggars in hand, I don't know if you draw here, or you just go about installing and getting it set up.
Well, I think...
Oh, okay, so Timmy is going to go contest this reload and try to kill the Sundew off.
Right, and Corvus did draw a Future Perfect, so Timmy has the chance to steal that here, and that would be a really big deal for his junk deck.
So you just see a wrap around and nothing at that, so just scoff it off.
Yeah, he's just going to go ahead and trash the Sundew. RP's got more money where that came from, but still, being able to slow them down is a pretty big deal. I'm not sure about this deck. Oh, so Timmy just sets up his Duggars. I guess his plan is going to be to Duggars on probably his next turn, and then just use that as like sort of like a hand setup, and then maybe he can find what he needs to increase his hand size and stuff like that, and continue along. After he sees the top 10 cards of his deck. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and assume this is gonna be a Duggar's turn. Meanwhile, Corvus on the other side drew an NAPD contract, so he's getting a little bit flooded. I mean, as flooded as RP gets with these terrible to steal agendas.
All right, so we got the Duggars out.
The Duggars is off.
So we gotta get rid of 5 cards here. So we're gonna probably get rid of 1 Echo Mind.
Yeah, I would say you probably want to get rid of maybe like Deus Ex, Amped Up.
This will take a bit.
Yeah, one of the Echo. All right, so maybe we should think about what do we want to keep. The money cards are great. You probably want to keep those. The E3 feedback implants is good, and then either an Echo Mind or an Inject, I guess. Those would be my choice. Maybe both and cut a daily cast. So how about Gamble, Casts, Echo Mind, Inject, E3. That's what I would keep. Corvus is making the note that Duggars would be sweet in industrial genomics. I don't think I can argue with that.
No, I don't think anyone can argue with that. Just pitch everything. Pitch all the shocks. Oh man. What's that? I wonder how many E3s Timmy has in this deck. How many? And I know he wants to use the Amped Up to be able to just do that deep dig. So that's gonna be pretty important for him. So he's got a lot of key cards here that he just doesn't want to throw away.
I would throw away that Amped Up. I don't think you have time. I've actually played around with this sort of deck a little bit, and I found that like stuff like On Later and Amped Up is actually totally unnecessary. You can actually make it work with just Clone Chip. The way you do that is you discard some of your key programs that you're going to want to install on the turn that you want to run, usually stuff like Medium, maybe your Overmind, and then you just go ahead and Clone Chip them all on the play on the turn that you want them, and that saves you a bunch of clicks in the same sort of way that an All-Nighter does. Also, against RP, it's questionable whether Timmy could actually even afford to get into R&D multiple times in the turn if he does Amped Up. So I would certainly be pitching that. I would also pitch this Deus Ex. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Although running into Combine, it could be a really big deal if you've got like 20 cards in your hand.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I think that's what maybe the debate for Timmy right now is like.
Yeah, he's probably worried about that. Excalibur is not going to do too much. I think Timmy's just basically playing Overmind as his only breaker. So the mythic ice subtype usually hard to hit with conventional breakers. Overmind's going to have no problem with that. Yeah, Timmy decides to pitch the Inject. So I don't know. He definitely wants to keep his He wants to keep his Echo Mind. For those of you who don't know, basically the idea behind the combo is you get a bunch of hand size, and then you use Echo Mind to make that hand size into memory, and then you play E3, which goes great with Quetzal anyway, and then on top of that you play Overmind, and Overmind's going to gain a ton of counters because of Echo Mind giving you a ton of memory.
Alright, so we've got to pitch one more here.
Yeah, one more. So he did keep the Amped Up and the Deus Ex. Looks like we're having a little bit of lag with Octagon. Maybe we're overloading the server a little bit.
I'm not surprised. Alright, so Corvus is going to draw up a Lotus Field here. So, it's going to find the Caprice. And if Corvus knows what Timmy's doing, then he would look to put the Caprice on R&D here to cause him more grief.
Yeah, I think I would just gift here, honestly.
Yeah, gift makes sense here. But he's choosing not to.
No, he's gonna ice HQ with his Excalibur. Some people
Lotus Field.
Oh, it was the Lotus Field? Oh, yeah. You're right. It was the Lotus Field. Yeah, some people are a little bit afraid to like show off agendas in their hand with gift, but when it's stuff like NAPD and the Future Perfect, I mean, like, what is Timmy gonna do? He doesn't have enough money to steal NAPD without nerfing his own economy this turn. The Future Perfect's always, good luck stealing that one. I love showing off the Future Perfect celebrity gifts. Just like, you think you can get this one? Play a game with me.
Let's play it out. Alright,
Okay, so it looks like he is going to gift. This actually, maybe he's playing around Siphon here. Maybe he doesn't know about this like silly Echo Mine deck and was just worried about the possibility of Siphon. Yeah, adding the Lotus Field to HQ that turn makes Siphon a lot less worrisome. What's on the inside? It is. Did you see the inside? Okay, it's the wraparound.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to do too much against Quetzal.
Alright, so Timmy's gonna start up his turn. He's gonna get $2 from daily cast, and
yeah, he's probably gonna have to draw some more cards. It's sort of it was pretty awkward for him having to Doggers once and then not running into any increased hand size like his Origamis or maybe Public Sympathies in this deck. I don't remember the exact list. When I was doing it, I had both. But it's going to be rough. Like if he Doggers here, he's milling 8 more cards off of his deck, and you can't afford to. You can Doggers and discard like one time, but the second time you start to discard some important things.
Yeah.
If he just draws into like Clone Chip, blah blah blah, like he could just play daily cast Echo Mind here. And then you could maybe Doggers with a 0 card hand, which would be a little bit safer. He wouldn't have to discard as much anyway. And that seems like a reasonable way to finish this turn to me. Clicking the draw card one at a time is not particularly appealing when you have this huge draw engine out.
Yeah. I was wondering, does this deck have a levy inside of it, or?
I don't remember. I mean, I just remember the list that I played, which the list that I played, I built based off of, I think, the original deck that Timmy is playing right now. I remember what I put in mine, but I don't honestly remember what's in Timmy's. I took a quick look at it last night, but
there's no levy, so everything he's discarding his stuff is gone.
Yeah, you gotta. I think the influence is like 1 Deus Ex, 1 All Nighter, 3 Clone Chip, and then E3s, and I think that's maybe it. Let's see if Timmy decides to dug out.
I don't know, probably maybe install the Echo Mine too if you want to dug out, because that way you don't have to worry about it being a liability to hold up space in your hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't have checked that remote. I would have just dropped the Echo Mine. Oh, but the problem is that if he plays the Echo Mine here, actually, the Deus Ex...
Oh, yes! Oh my gosh, it's so... Oh,
man, yeah.
Why?
About that one.
Yeah.
Timmy's 1 step ahead.
1 step ahead of us.
Meanwhile, Corvus with RP is going to start Jacksoning. He doesn't want these agendas in his hand. Little does he know, they're actually way safer in his hand. But the Caprice on R&D should really just shut down Timmy's deck really hard. Then you're looking at winning a side game to get in the first place, and then you're also might be looking at a Nisei counter if he's got one by then. And then on top of it, I mean, he's just pretty far off of the plan. This draw wasn't very friendly to him off the Doggers. Really, what he wanted to be finding was like lots of Origamis. If he found like a bunch of Origamis, he could have made his hand really, really big, and then Doggers again and kept all the cards.
Yeah.
Which is what you want to be doing.
So there's 3 Origamis in this deck, am I correct?
There was 3 Origamis in this deck when I played it. I don't know how you're getting all that hand size with that Origami.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got 30 cards left. Oh, jeez.
Do we see any Origamis in there? Yeah, there's some.
There's 1 Origami.
Alright, so how do you discard? I think you've got to discard... Oh, right, the Supplier is the last one. Well, the Supplier's got to go. I think it's too late for that. Obviously, the other Doggers. You're going to want to keep Echo Mind, or... You're going to keep Echo Mind, Origami for sure.
Okay.
So then I think you also want to keep one of these incubators at least.
Yeah, you're going to keep one of the incubators for sure. So it's going to be 2 Origamis, 1 Overmind, the Echo Mind, and 1 of the incubators. Everything else has to go. I
think I would actually ditch the Echo Mind, the Overmind here. You've got multiple copies of it. And
okay, never mind then.
You can also Clone Chip it. The programs are more disposable because of Clone Chip. If he wants to discard the Overmind, he'll probably not only draw into another one, but it'll also give him the ability to Clone Chip Overmind, which could save him a click on the crucial turn coming up.
Here goes the Supplier.
Yeah, that one is easy. Yeah, Duggar's also easy. I think the question for me is whether you keep StimHack or daily casts here. You could also think about
Ooh.
Liberated.
I think you keep the stem hack just for the mere fact that the 9 credits is better than the drip. I think he's close to being finished on setup, so it's at any point. But then again, the little bit of drip also helps if he needs to still install a bunch of other stuff.
He could keep both incubators.
Hmm.
I don't know that would be insane. It'd be difficult for him to afford all of it though. Not having the supplier online is a big deal, and getting that going first can be a big help.
Hmm.
Apparently, we're dealing with some sort of discard bug. Timmy's facing like a lot of lag.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Let's see what's happening so far.
Yeah, daily cast and liberated account both goes. So he's looking at StimHack as the keep, and he decides to keep both incubators.
Yeah, there you go.
So next turn, you gotta assume Echo Mine, Origami, and Incubator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you can Duggars again and keep the vast majority of the cards. Actually, Echo Mine, he can't play all those cards because he won't have enough memory. He'll have to lose the Deus Ex again.
Oh God.
He'll have to, I think, click the draw one turn. That's not that big of a deal because you do want some time to, let those incubators charge up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to need, a click to play a medium, a click to play his Overmind, a click to run R&D. That's 3. You might want to get in twice that turn. It would be somewhat helpful, especially if you see a future perfect and lose the Psi. But he can save clicks with Amped Up, Clone Chip, All-Nighter. There's a few tricks in this deck to do that.
Okay. So, what is this turn? This turn's just a setup, is it not? Just Echo Mine, Origami, set up an incubator?
Like I said, you can't do that without losing your Deus Ex.
Memory limit is equal to cards in your grip, so when you install it, would it not equal to 4?
Yeah, well, he's going to play cards out of his hand is the issue. The memory limit is variable. As he plays more cards in his hand, the memory limit goes down. So I think the play here is going to be draw a card, Echo Mind, Origami.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's good.
He's just not going to set up his Echo Mind this turn. That actually makes a good amount of sense, too.
But now he has a MU4, right? It's increased. Actually, it's been increased now.
He has the standard MU. He hasn't played his Echo Mind yet. This is probably the best way to go about it. So this way, he can wait to play the Echo Mind until he needs your MU. Now he can Duggars next turn, and then he'll have a 9-card hand, so he'll only have to discard 3. And then he can wait to play the Echo Mind until, he's actually got a big hand.
Yeah.
That's probably the smartest way to go about this.
I apologize, guys, on stream that I'm a little mixed up with this. Just my first time kind of looking at Echo Mine, so I'm going to have to let Dan kind of be the expert opinion on this.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Over on Corvus side, it seems like he's just doing the regular RP thing, sort of a little bit oblivious to what's going on on Timmy's side of things. He's setting up his remote server, which he's going to need to do to score, and he's wisely including the Ash rather than the Caprice over there. The Caprice, I think, will do a better job on R&D. Once you see the incubator, you've got to know that medium's the plan, right?
Yeah, totally.
All right. So Timmy, I expect a Duggars turn out of him again. That'll get him down to only 10 cards left in his deck, which means one more Duggars will get him all the way there.
So he could just pitch the 2 Earthrises here. Because
need it. I don't think you need those Earthrises.
And maybe even 1 Public Sympathy.
Yeah, that seems like the right thing to do.
Because you don't need the card draw. You already have the engine going.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep the clone chips. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff you can discard here. I would probably be discarding the Earthrise into Public Sympathy. That makes sense. You could keep the Earthrises and then plan on not using Duggars again. He still hasn't found his medium, so he's not going to be able to make a dig off of just this. So maybe you do want to keep the Earthrises. Well, he decides not to. He's discarding them. The Public Sympathies aren't going to be worth very much here. I don't think either of them can really get installed. Timmy's got 10 cards now. Wait, shouldn't he have... Isn't his hand size?
A mental health clinic +4.
Oh, mental health clinic, helping out. While Timmy is playing a solitaire deck, he does have the minds to remember mental health clinic, which is not an easy thing to do. There we go with Caprice and R&D.
Yeah, I think he's figured it out at this point now, Corvus.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Timmy's definitely going to need to win some side games. He also creates a new remote server, thinking about just plopping down a naked Sundew, and I think that makes good sense here. I haven't actually seen whether Timmy's deck is like working with anything like the new cards. When I was playing this deck, it was before ONC came out, so it didn't have anything like what do you call it? The new like what's it called?
I'm struggling.
Is it Hive Mind? Yeah, Hive Mind.
Okay. Overmind, you mean?
Yeah, Hive Mind, or the thing that prevents purges. The new deep.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Progenitor, you mean? Like prevents one.
Yeah, Progenitor, Hive Mind. I don't think this deck is actually doing anything like that.
Okay.
Timmy's actually going to go for R&D right now. He knows that he's going to have to deal with this Caprice sooner or later, and it looks like what he wants to do is he wants to put pressure on the Caprice now, so that way later on he can, deal with whatever he has to. If he can get rid of this Caprice now, maybe later he can go for a safe medium run, because the last thing you want to do is run in and miss. Timmy bets 0 and Corvus bids 1, keeps him out. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a rough day for Timmy. That's what's going on. He needs to win these side games. Oh, and he's also gonna go start checking Sundews. I don't know about this. I think you have to just sort of like give up, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Just go for your game plan, right? That's all you really want to do here. Just start pumping the cards out of your hand.
Yeah, I think he's got to play solitaire a little more.
But I guess I can understand this. I mean, this trade-off allows him to get rid of both Sundews, so the 4-credit clickless engine is gone now.
Right.
So it's not too bad. It's still a good option either way. He's not gonna check the other Sundew, and that's gone too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the Deus Ex is down. That leaves Timmy pretty vulnerable to Kamainu, although a lot of people have cut Kamainu from RP.
Ooh, Fetal.
Whoa. Oh, Fetal AI.
What the heck is happening?
I don't know. That's how do you fit the Fetal AI?
I guess he must have cut like
He could just be playing 2 Future Perfects. I actually ran with that agenda setup for a little bit. Because with the 3 Future Perfects, you are at 21 points. So a lot of people have been doing things like, cutting a Future Perfect for a Fetal AI, leaves less points in your deck. You're less vulnerable to losing a Future Perfect to a to a Central Access. It also gives your net damage a little more teeth. A lot of people, especially if there's a Kamainu out, might try and run through it with no cards in their hand for free. Fetal can punish that. I think the more common switch in the agenda setup for RP recently has been cutting an NAPD contract for a Chronos project, which is really helpful against Kate and Max. But this Fetal AI makes good sense too.
Well, Timmy finds his other origami.
Okay, other origami. Interesting.
I don't know what the draws here. I don't know. Is he specifically looking just for a 1-draw for the mediums here, or what is he trying to do?
Well, he definitely needs the medium. If I were him here, I would just probably gamble and play a clone chip. You could also gamble. Does he have another incubator? Yeah, gamble on another incubator wouldn't be bad. But he's really, really, really going to need to like get all this stuff set up, before a Nisei counter gets going. Because if that Nisei gets scored and the Caprice is still face up on R&D, I don't know that there's any way he can do it.
Yeah.
Luckily for him, Corvus hasn't found a Nisei yet. He's got a lot of agendas that aren't Nisei.
Yeah, they're kind of clogging up the hand, and he doesn't have that remote he needs to kind of get things going.
I think he does, actually.
I haven't seen this ice yet. Like,
maybe Timmy was right to trash these Sundus. It is slowing down RP.
I think he was right to get rid of it.
Oh, it's cold in my house.
So, I mean, looking at this right now, Corvus. Oh, we're looking to draw 2 more with Jackson. He finds an Eli and a Tsurugi. And I guess here he's just gonna look to do.
He's gonna gift up and pitch some agenda.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's correct. If he pitches 2 agendas here,
I think you pitched the 2 future perfects because they're already really hard as it is to steal, and having them inside R&D and just forcing them into a guessing game to steal it.
Anthony let me know that Timmy's shortcuts are probably broken because his chat window is active. He needs to click outside the chat window. I don't know.
He probably doesn't know about that. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that because he was clicking and dragging his cards around. Wouldn't that make the chat window inactive? Yeah, I don't think that's it either. Thanks, Anthony, for letting us know, though. It was a good try. All right, so Timmy takes click 1 to draw a card, and what does he find? He finds an Overmind. So that's not an unreasonable thing to install here, but he's too low on credits. He needs to like click for a credit, play Sure Gamble, play Liberated Account, and obtain a whole lot of money. He's not anywhere near the amount of money he's going to need. I think he's going to need to get up to like at least 20 credits or so, right, before he can think about digging R&D.
Yeah, he's going to need a lot of money if he's going to want to get in there, and 20 credits sounds about right, because Pup is 2, Eli is going to be the first time just, the ability to see. Did he have E3? Or I think he actually pitched it.
Yeah, I think he did ditch his E3s. He might have ditched both of them. But
really?
Sure. I don't know. So, what did Corvus actually end up pitching? 1 Future Perfect and 1 Fetal AI, it looks like.
He only pitched one E3, so.
Okay, so he's got another one still.
Okay, that's good. So he still has room to work with.
Timmy went with my play. Click for credit, Sure Gamble, Liberated Account. That's good.
So the Corp's already, about halfway through his deck now. Timmy's to the last 7 cards.
Yeah, Timmy's all the way down. As the Corp here, I'm drawing 2 cards with Jackson and trying to find that Nisei. If I do find the Nisei, I'm going to install Advance it immediately. I think going for scoring any other agenda here is probably wrong. I would just probably click to draw with Jackson 1 time. If you miss, you can play Hedge Fund and maybe ice up a little more. And if you do find the Nisei, you go for scoring it immediately. The Nisei counter plus the Caprice on R&D is probably going to lock out Timmy's deck. So finding that as soon as possible is pretty important. But he does go for scoring. He's scoring the NAPD. I think this is one of the only ways Timmy can win. Is having this agenda scored and not the Nisei. Timmy doesn't know what it is, though, so this might force him to go and look. At the very least, he might have to respect the threat and then go back to R&D to try to trash the Caprice.
Yeah, Timmy's got a bit of a struggle for money now, so this is...
Yeah, I mean, he can go click Liberated Account, run R&D, pay through Pup, click Eli once, and then try and get the Nisei debt. I don't think he has much of a hope on the remote. Do you know what ice is over there? Is it the Excalibur?
I missed out on the ice placement. I believe it's the Excalibur because based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
No,
Excalibur.
Excalibur's in the archives. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I don't know. So one interesting thing here is if Timmy can think about threatening to get in, like click liberated account, play overmind, run archives. Yeah. Okay. So what he's trying to do here is he's trying to force the corp to res the Caprice on the remote, hopefully trashing it on R&D. Unfortunately for him, it's not a Caprice over there; it's an Ash, and
Yeah.
this is going to be just a waste of turn. Oh, I guess it does. It does get him to use the Jackson at the very least.
Yeah, that's it's good
So
for
that's
that.
it's a little better than nothing, but
Mhm.
still, the fact that this is going to be an Ash that keeps him out and probably keeps him out without getting trashed. I mean, it's just bad news. If he could have forced a res over there and the Caprice went bye bye on the R&D, then that would be a big deal. But okay, so he's got stim hack.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming.
Corvus is on 15 though, and that's an NAPD. So I don't know.
Oh my god!
Really, really.
Is that E3 was there? A little bit of different scenario.
You have to clone up Deus Ex here.
Yeah, you
just have to.
You just have to.
Yep.
Okay, so at least we're gonna be able to survive this. Come on,
yeah, of course. Well, you never die from the Kamine. The question is whether he loses all his important cards in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And by important, I mean public sympathy. Okay, so we'll see what this ashtrays go for. Timmy has 9 with the stim hack money. The trace starts at 4. Ketzel's on 0. So if the trace is pumped by, 6? Then he won't be able to steal.
Nope, it's going to leave the trace as is, so...
Leaves the trace as is. Okay, so Timmy can... Oh, never. If he wants to trash the Ash... Oh, he went for eluding the trace here. This is probably the correct play. This way he gets to actually steal the NAPD. And that's gonna help because it's gonna be hard to get as many accesses as you need against RP.
Yeah, I agree. Well, so hits the liberated account, so actually that's a pretty good hit.
How did he hit?
No, it's a stim hack.
Oh, right. I forgot he went on a stim hack. Oh yeah, the liberated account. I mean, you'd much rather lose a public sympathy or an origami or inject that.
Wow, and it looks like Corvus finally draws up his first Nisei.
Yeah, so if he went for that last turn, it would have been, well, maybe a little better. He would have had to pump more credits into the ashtrays. He could have sort of pretended it was an NAPD and done that like sort of in between trace where you're like, well, if it's an NAPD, you're not getting it. Are you sure you want to pay the trace? But he's gonna go for it now. Very, very interesting call. Going for the credits there. So Corvus is on 12. Timmy's only on 1. If he had another stim hack, he could go like liberated, archives, stim hack in. And if he stole that agenda too, he would be pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Tough. Corvus got fortunate in terms of at least like being able to top deck the Nisei here because this is the one window that he has against Timmy now to be able to get this agenda out. I don't see with currently Timmy's cards that he can get into there. Yeah, I'm trying to play all the scenarios in my head. I don't think there's a way for Timmy to break into the server and be able to take this agenda. And as Corvus, I'd be willing to trade off money in the trace just to make sure that he can't touch the agenda.
Yeah, it looks like Timmy's sort of giving up on it. He could just take liberated money this turn and let him score, but man, it would be pretty rough. He does have a nerve agent though, So that's going to give him a way to potentially touch that future perfect in hand. Timmy just takes 2 liberated money and plays a clone ship.
And here we go. This is where the game is extremely tough.
Yeah, this is going to be hard for Timmy, for sure.
I don't know how you get out of this now. So, let's look back at Timmy. So, I mean, inject origami, 2 public sympathies. I feel like the 2 public sympathies here are just kind of, they're really dead cards. Much rather would have that E3.
Oh, yeah. The public sympathies. I mean, like, you sort of need it, because if you don't find multiple copies of origami fast enough, then your hand size isn't growing and your deck isn't working.
Yeah.
But often, they're not doing anything in this deck. When I was playing it, it was rare that I played public sympathy at all. But it feels like you need it.
Yeah, and I feel like these injects are just also burning a hole in his hand, because he does not want to inject and lose the medium, lose his other programs he may need. Like, he said he has another overmind, right? So he doesn't want to lose another overmind.
Yeah, he probably has another overmind anyway.
Christ.
So Timmy just draws some cards, take money off Liberate. He finds another clone chip, which could be okay. And he plays another incubator. So it's not that safe to try and score the future perfect here. He finds an ELP. This looks like it could just be my Worlds deck straight up card for card, actually. I haven't seen anything to make me think it's not.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Oh, actually, it's not. There's 2 Lotus Fields in this deck. How do I feel about this deck? Or how do I feel about people copying that deck? Well, it's a good deck. It's still a good deck. You can play it card for card and it'll be fine. Lots of people are doing stuff like, oh, no. There was the fetal in there. So this is definitely different.
So, people are watching the 50-minute delay. I'm just reading Crispin saying, there we go, mental health clinic is unplayable now. The meta has changed.
Yep. Game over. Mental health clinic.
Oh my god, there's an all-nighter in this? Holy smackaroo.
Yeah, I cut that.
Jesus, Murphy. Still can't find his medium. It's the last 2 cards, but...
Well, you could always inject and then clone chip it into play. And then you won't have to take the chance of not drawing it in the next card, but... He's going to have to, wait for more incubator counters. This is just going to be so rough for him. Like, R&D just looks impossible with the Nisei counter and the Caprice. I just don't know how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can even, drop that ELP too. Oof.
Woof.
Yeah, I think you got to go for Nerve Agent here, don't you? Like, R&D is just impossible.
Yeah, I think you still have to try to contest it somehow. It's just... I don't know. This just looks really hard. Oh, he's gonna put another piece of ice there.
Yeah, there's no way you can't. There's no way you're contesting it. There's no way. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
Nerve Agent's his best shot. I think you got to give up on medium 100%.
This is supplier, and medium's the last card.
Medium's the last card. There it is. We finally found the medium.
What a jerk!
Just in time for it to not.
Jerk.
So, Nerve Agent? Yeah, and there's no more econ left in this deck at all. So, if Timmy ever wants $1, there's one way to get it. And it's clicking for it.
Inject?
Yeah, how does that work?
Look at the top, nothing.
Nothing.
Alright, so... I missed that install. What was that install by chance?
I missed it too.
I'm sorry, guys.
Whatever it is, he's not advancing it, is he? Oh, I guess he is. He's just gonna ice up more.
Oh, he's gonna draw 2.
Oh, maybe it's a Caprice.
Ooh, that might be good. It was a Caprice.
Okay, so any PD contract and the Future Perfect are in hand. Can Timmy get into Nerve Agent here? He can play Nerve Agent, click Incubator, and run 1 time.
Yeah, then
It's costs 2 points. He's going to have to pay 1, 2, 3, 4 to break Lotus Field, and then he will in no way be able to steal an NAP contract. He could get the Future Perfect though. It's not nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else you're doing, Timmy, right?
All those Duggars just hit too many key cards, I think. That was the problem. Not getting, like, the correct Anarch problems, of course. Not getting the cards in the order you like.
Right.
Really hurt you here.
Yeah, well, that's why we play Max.
Because you get the card you always want?
No, it's because if you didn't draw the card you want, you milled it.
Mm-hmm.
And you get it back that way. I think that's why Max has proven herself to be the new face of anarchy these days, is just because, you know, she solves that anarch problem of not having the right card at the right time. So often when you try and rush out behind Max in the same way you might try against something like Noise, she just goes ahead and like, oh, well, there's my Corroder, I milled it, clone ship, run. And then you're like, oh, well, I guess you have access to Corroder now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Timmy's deck has solved the consistency problem a little bit by just drawing the whole deck. Unfortunately, he hasn't put on enough pressure, and now RP is like pretty much set up the lock.
Well, I mean, Corvus, I think he's still confused as to what to do here, which is kind of funny. Alright, he's going to solve the NAPD. He's going to look to score this guy. I was going to advance it twice. He's going to make it think it's future perfect. Yeah, that's just a tax and server. Timmy's in a situation where you can't contest the remote, you can't contest R&D. There's just so much you can't contest. The only safe one is HQ, because the inside ice was what? Wraparound, was it not?
Yeah, the inside ice is wraparound, so it's going to be pretty easy to get in. Timmy doesn't know that now, though. What is he doing? Oh, he's going to clone ship this Kamino. He's going to kill it, and he's going to go for the remote.
Well, we know what Timmy's doing then.
Yeah, trouble is, Ash, Caprice, if he does get the Caprice res, that would trash the R&D Caprice.
Yeah, but I don't think he even res the Caprice before he beats the Ash. Like, he needs to beat the Ash, right? And depending on how taxing that ice is on the outside, he could tax the Quetzal to the point where like he only has enough to trash the Ash and can't get back in again. Alright, well, let's see what the size is. This is another Komainu. This is going to hurt.
Nope, Lotus Field. So he can break that. Does he want to res the Caprice, though, is the question. He's only got 6 credits, so he might have to.
Mm-hmm.
So Timmy pays 4 credits to pump Overmind, breaks for 1. He could also just Nisei counter immediately. Or he can Nisei counter after the Ash gets trashed.
Oh, wait, no, you can't trash the Ash. And then Nisei counter. All paid abilities are done before.
No, I know that. I'm saying he could let him trash the Ash and then run again. Pay 4
yeah, okay.
Yeah, pay 4 to break the Lotus Field. And he's just going to trace for 4. So this is... what?
Well, Timmy could break in and then steal the agenda.
Yeah. This is an interesting choice. Is that not a Caprice over there? I mean, you sort of have to take this, don't you? You can't just not.
Yeah. If Timmy takes us, then he still has a chance to run into HQ and try to win a side game with a future perfect.
That's true, but you got to think that future perfect's going to come down pretty soon. And Timmy's on 1 credit, having to click for credits probably for 3 or 4 turns before he can do anything.
Well, he doesn't know that.
Takes that credit.
Could have popped the all-nighter to just take 2 credits. Oh man. The level of hanky panky janky.
Yep. High levels of it. Another future perfect does show up in the hand though.
Oh, sorry. So this one's an install advance.
Wow. And only on 5 credits.
I mean,
yeah,
if you look at it this way,
really
like
broke.
he has 1 buck to his name, right? And he has to deal with a Caprice. He has to deal with a Nisei counter. Has to deal with Ash. That's a pretty fortified server.
Yeah, I don't know how you're getting into that one. You gotta get him to spend the Nisei counter, but you're just so far off money wise.
Yeah.
It looks like he could just like, score out this future perfect, then go ahead and score the other NAP in his hand, right?
Yeah. I feel so bad because these incubators are doing nothing.
They are.
This is what we call maximum punk rock turns. Take 4 credits, go.
Yeah, that's high level of punk rock.
Ugh. What to do?
He goes ahead and installs in his Sarugi remote. And then he's probably just going to take money, right? Like, he's one agenda off scoring the win. He's got the NAP in his hand.
Yeah, there's no reason not to just take money and then next turn install advanced ones, take a credit.
Right. Maybe he's thinking about whether he can do it this turn. I don't think that it's safe to. Well, maybe it is, actually. And it looks like he's going to go for it. This is maybe the right call, actually. So he has 1 credit to pump into the Nisei, assuming that remote card is... Well, it could be a mental, then he would have 2. But he's got the Nisei counter, so Timmy's got to spend 2 clicks running archives to... Oh, no, the ELP is gone.
The ELP is gone now.
Okay. So Timmy can take 1 credit, run archives, run the remote, then he's paying 4 credits, going down to 6. Nisei counter will end the run. He'll run again, and he won't be able to beat the ashtray. So yeah, this is going to be game. Assuming Timmy can't get that future perfect out of HQ. Which is, I guess, possible, right? Is it? He plays Nerve Agent, clicks for 2 credits, then he's on 8. He can beat the Lotus Field twice. Yeah, but he won't have enough to win the side game after the Nisei counter. So yeah, I think this one's over.
Yeah, I think I would have contested the hand in this scenario.
Well, he could just not play Nerve Agent. He could just click for 2 credits, run HQ twice. Yeah. That would have to be his play. The trouble is that if the wraparound does get rezzed, Ketzel's ability will only be able to break it once, and the second time through, it's going to have 7 strength. So yeah, Timmy's going to go for the remote over here, but this isn't going to do it. He breaks for 4 credits. I mean, come on, Corvus, let him break the Lotus Field. We both know it's Caprice. Yeah, Caprice rezzing here is probably not very good.
No, you don't res it here. You leave it be because you let the guy get in.
Necessary. So you make Timmy... Yeah. No, you don't even let him fight the Ashtrace yet. You just end the run.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You let him pay 4, you end the run. You let him come back, you let him pay 4 again. Then you make him fight the Ashtrace. And Timmy's not going to have enough to steal NAPD.
This is such a taxing server. This is ridiculous.
I know, just the one Lotus Field. Lotus Field can do a really good job being taxing against Anarch. Most of them are either like... I mean, at best, they're breaking it with, like, I don't know, Eater. You're still paying 3. Most of the time, they're either going to deal with Zoo or I mean, I guess Knight can do it for a reasonable amount, but still, I mean, Lotus Field against Anarch, you just got those code gate problems, really. And I think this tournament is going to be, the tournament of code gates. If you remember, not a year ago, like people were running like no code gates in their deck. It was like you played like 2 Enigma or 2 Quandary and a Toll Booth and maybe some pop-up windows or something like that. You just wanted to minimize the Yogg damage, but as soon as Lotus Field got released, that just turned everything on its head. Now code gates are looking like the best dice to have a lot of. If you have a lot of code gates, you can stretch out your opponent's cyber ciphers if they're playing prepaid. It's not free to break with stealth credits, even though Refractor is a really efficient option. It's better than getting your stuff broken for free by Switchblade. And then against Anarchs, you just deal with you just deal with this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he didn't even use the Nisei counter, so...
Yeah, see, I told you just let him fight the Trace. Fight the Ash. Mathematically, he didn't have a chance for that remote.
Timmy's going to look to see if he can't get into R&D. This is like a little bit ridiculous right now, I think.
How does he break the Eli?
He's Quetzal.
Yeah, but he only... Oh, he has 2 clicks, never mind.
Right.
Like, what?
He's going to take 2 damage. He's only got 1 credit, which is the problem. Like, you gotta... What? Bid 0. Corvus has got 3 credits left, so he can afford to spend 1 on the Caprice here.
No, he can spend 2, because he has Mental Health Connect.
Oh, yeah. Timmy does not have enough to go trash that Mental Health Clinic, which would maybe prevent the score next turn. But yeah, this is going to be game.
Guten Gam. Alright, so let's take a look statistic-wise for this game. Well, 8 basic credits from RP player. Ran remote 7 times for Timmy. Ran R&D 3 times. Ran Arc has 4 times. Used Liberated 4 times.
I take it there was a medium, he says. Yeah, there was a medium. It wasn't good enough. Man, the power of Caprice. Caprice is a
jerk.
Alright, so we've got Stronger Together versus Andromeda. Stronger Together, you may remember as the ID that nobody ever plays.
No one ever plays this ID. Draw 9 cards.
So of course, Timmy decided to take upon himself to resurrect the Stronger Together today, and just in time for Brain Tapping Warehouse, which is a potentially strong card. It can let you res your Bioroids for a lot cheaper, and if you're packing stuff like Ichi, your opponent doesn't necessarily want to be face checking on the last click.
Actually, we had a game night kit yesterday in Toronto with 14 players, and Stronger Together with Brain Tapping Warehouse won the game night kit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we're looking at a new thing then.
No, it's legitimate. Like, I was talking to my friend Jack, and he is a regional winner from last year. And
okay.
He made it work, so.
All right, Timmy finds his Heinlein grid, his other ridiculous combo piece. I remember I looked more at this deck, so I have more familiarity with this one. He's got, I think, 18 points worth of 3-pointers and 2 false leads as his agenda package. So this is probably going to be a slow game. If he gets his false lead scores, these Heinlein grids might do some serious work. All right, so Timmy installs 2 ice and takes a credit. He's on 6 credits, not 7. Remember, this is Stronger Together. He does have a Melange in his hand. If he can get that going, it would help a lot.
I think you need at least just one
Corvus, meanwhile, on the other side.
It's a weird... Yeah, go on. Oh.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so Corvus is playing Stealth Andy, it looks like. We see the cloak. But he doesn't have, like, a really super great econ start. He does have a security testing, but without Desperado, that's not super efficient. So if Timmy can shut off testing, he might be able to slow the game down enough. Unfortunately for him, he draws a priority requisition. Really want to see ice there. Maybe you can like ice up the melange, protect that for a turn. And, that'll get you to restructure money. It looks like he's going to have to just get there the slow way, though.
So drop another security testing. We got Cloak, we got Special Orders, we got Siphon.
I think you got to draw another card here. Draw a card, look for Desperado. If you find Desperado, you can drop that and then run testing. And you can always discard the second testing. He decides instead to just go for the run right now. This is okay, too. Oh, he wants both testings out. Okay.
Because why not?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you want to have two out. You might want to, click for two credits twice a turn.
Timmy draws another agenda, which he doesn't want. He doesn't want the false lead right now.
No, he'll probably just click for a credit restructure and then, I don't know. You don't want to just shove something in a remote here because you turn on testing. So instead, he goes for Heinlein Grid on HQ, clicks for a credit, and now plays Restructure. This is fine. It also looks like Chrysium Grid, which could discourage Siphons. Also, it'll also discourage, the opponent from clicking through a Bioroid to get in for a Siphon or something like that. Yeah. Corvus sets up testing on R&D here, and then goes checking. He's going to run into a Marcus, which is either going to take down one of his testings or his same old thing, or at least make him lose a click. Have you played much with Marcus? Do you have any?
I have, yeah. So playing as Marcus, it's an interesting shift because people, I guess they underrate it a little bit too much, because when you kind of see it, it does take a bit of the rig away. Like, it's just a minor speed bump. I think it's the same kind of way you look at speed bumps for like other cards. So it's not something you depend on heavily for like, oh, you want it for the trash, but it's a nice little bump to make runners respect running on certain clicks.
Yeah, it sort of reminds me of Victor 1.0 in that regard. Like, it's got like an annoying subroutine that's going to do some damage, but it's not going to do a lot of damage. Remember that Marcus lets the runner choose what card gets trashed. So I would say that's probably usually about as good as a brain damage. It's got 3 strength, just like Victor 1. But stronger together means it's got 4 strength today. So
yeah,
maybe that's good. I mean, that's pretty good for taxing against Stealth Andy. They're always using Corroder. So if you want to be breaking that Marcus, with your breaker, it's going to be hard. It's going to cost you 4. Corvus goes to check HQ. He's got testing there. Timmy decides to pull the trigger on his Victor 2. Probably going to get a double click out of this. Yeah. So he double clicks Victor. He can't access cards, but he does get a testing money. But that means that he doesn't know what that upgrade is. Timmy decided not to res the Heinlein Grid, I guess, assuming that he would just, bounce off the Victor, which is probably what he should have done anyway. Right. Unfortunately for him, he runs into another agenda. Now, Timmy is not playing the full set of Jackson Howards in this deck. I think there might only be one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I know. I had this conversation with him last night. I was like, Timmy, what are you doing with busting 3 Jackson Howards? Especially in, like, a slow deck. And he was like, well, I think Jackson Howard's a little bit overrated. I'm like, you must be out of your mind.
God damn it, Timmy. Now, okay, I notice this round's due to end at 12:55. We're looking at 12:43. Do you want to warn the players, let them know there's 12 minutes left, or?
Yeah, 12 minutes left of the round.
Should I give the same courtesy that I do usually at tournaments? What did you just install onto HQ?
That was a CyberX virus suite.
Oh God, okay. More of the feints happening here. It's got to be wondering, like, what's happening in that.
Yeah. I mean, you're playing against Timmy, so who the hell knows, right?
Yeah.
All right, so with the time, we just announced that there were 12 minutes left. So this R&D interface looks like it's trying to score some points early, and that's what he does. So those points are giving him the tiebreaker advantage right now.
Oh God, what do we do here? Do we celebrity gift? Oh, okay. So
Timmy's gonna draw a card and then maybe celebrity gift. I don't know.
He wants to install the Eli somewhere. I know he does.
Yeah, he could do like Eli Melange or Eli False Lead even.
Oh, he's got a celebrity gift.
He's gonna gift.
This game.
I know, right?
It's bringing me back to like creation control days.
Definitely.
Alright, so we set the 2 security testings. Gonna run R&D. See what we get.
Yeah, he's just going to keep poking at R&D. As long as he can get 2 accesses for 3 clicks, that's pretty much good enough. So I think he's going to take those every chance he gets. He won't get fresh accesses every turn if Timmy doesn't draw any extra cards or if nothing gets trashed or stolen off of R&D. So you might not see that R&D run every turn, but you're going to see it pretty frequently. There's a snatch and grab. No Katie Jones out yet, so that's not going to do much. That's an interesting tech card I think we're going to see a lot more of because of how heavily so many of the Anarch decks rely on Katie Jones. Anarch economy is good enough now. It used to be kind of bad, but you still lean pretty heavily on Katie Jones in a lot of decks. Yeah. Sam RS's Reina Denial deck leans pretty hard on Katie Jones. My Max deck does. Noise doesn't obviously rely on Katie Jones, but Aesop's Pawn Shop is a connection, so you can trash that with Snatch and Grab. And a lot of criminals as well are going to start relying more on Katie Jones as the field slows down. Security testing is great in the early game and great against fast horizontal type decks, but it doesn't do too well when you're facing down RP. All right, so sees the launch, trashes it.
Security testing, gonna get $2. So Timmy. Oh, gets the hedge fund.
Yeah, that helps some. So he discarded that aggressive secretary, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, that's sort of rough. You kind of really want to do that when you're in these positions where you have agenda fun. You look like there's not really a way for you to do too well in this game. Not that Timmy can't win this game with this hand, but there's the time factor. You can always try something like install advance naked. Andy doesn't have any programs out now, but it can be pretty scary if you just shove an install advance out in a naked server when you have a scoring server. You're just telling them you want to guess whether this is aggressive secretary or not? Come on and try. Unfortunately, there's no aggressive secretary to be found. Timmy decides to shove the false lead in the remote over there.
Yeah. That's the Heimdall.
Yeah, that's a pretty big Heimdall. It's not gonna help.
Nope.
Or it's not gonna let him in.
I think in this case you click the brain and just let it go. Oh.
Ooh, he breaks the brain damage. Man, people are so scared of brain damage. Sometimes you just gotta take brain damage, okay? Just take your brain damage and go home.
No, you don't want the brain damage here.
Why not?
There's some good cards he has, right? Legwork.
Literally the first thing I do when I play against HB is take a brain damage.
Mm-hmm. I'm
just oh, take a brain damage? Yes, please. I'll take 1 brain damage now and save me 1 for later. Can I stim hack can I stim hack and get another one? Like, my goal is always, especially against like this identity, stronger together. You don't want to play a game where you don't take brain damage. Like you don't want to be paying the break Heimdall. You want to click it twice and take a brain damage, especially Heimdall too.
That's interesting. He chooses to lose the fairy over security testing. Like, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
Archive memories. Okay. Alright, well, Timmy can score out this agenda. Puts him on the board at least.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal. So that's going to put Timmy ahead for the tiebreaker if he does manage to score.
Well, they're both at... Well, I mean, Corvus is at 3 points.
Right. But if he manages to score the priority requisition or the Wotan...
That's true.
Also, because of how the timed matches work, he could actually forfeit the false lead just to slow his opponent down, and he wouldn't have to give up any actual points. Because if it's 3-3, then each of them get a point.
Oh, yeah.
So let's say, it's the last round of time. Timmy's up 4-3. Once the runner takes 2 clicks, he'll just forfeit the false lead and say, okay, we can both have 1 point. We won't have to worry about, losing another agenda. Timmy finds another Heinlein grid. He can shove that in his remote. That's gonna, make it pretty hard to get in effectively for Andy because of the false lead, right?
Yeah, false lead
now it's active on HQ and the remote.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm pretty impressed. He's got it going. Survived a bit of the flood, and now he's getting the engine going. So
yeah, I don't know whether he beat Kalimsha with this deck or the other deck, but I'm gonna be honest. This deck is a lot better, even if it is full of not enough Jacksons and too many melanges. It's definitely got a really strong Glacier Ice Suite. By the way, guys, if you want to donate to the tournament, all of the donations will go towards the prize money and shipping for all the prizes and the giveaways and stuff that we do on the stream. And you can go ahead to stimhack.com/aboutus, or just click on the About Us link on the front page of StimHack. I think it's stimhack.com/aboutus.
Yeah.
No, it's actually stimhack.com/about.
Yes.
And you can go over there, and there's a PayPal link. Sometime between, I don't know, maybe the Swiss and the top 16, we'll make an announcement about, what we've managed to get together in donations from the viewers and the sponsors, and, some of the players too. And we'll, let you know how much money we're competing for.
Yeah.
And Timmy does set up his score. Just a second, Dean.
Yeah, no, it's do your thing. I'll keep talking as you do your thing. So, looking in this round, Corvus is looking to... He has his Crowder up, but if he runs on either second click or first or second click, he's going to lose his money to the Heinlein. So he's got to be careful in terms of his decision making here. So we're looking at this. Breaking into this server right now is going to be 5, so it's 5 to match 2 to break, so that's 8. 8 plus, god damn, 8 plus 5. So he could break in the server, but he has to be careful not to be greedy on doing this, because he could potentially lose his money in this one instance. Oh, Corvus looks like he knows what's a Heinlein grid. So he's opting his decisions here as to what he wants to do. But it looks like he still would be able to break into the server. Oh. So he's choosing instead to go into R&D. He's going to look to break the ice. And we're going to see a few cards here. Yeah,
hey guys, I'm back. We got one minute left in the round. And there's a miss on R&D.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting ready to call time over here.
Yeah, Corvus, a little bit slow on his decision making right now, but I can understand why.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. He
Oh,
goes ahead and draws a card.
yeah, he's not going to be winning that server anymore, so Timmy's going to take the score. Alright, so
I think this is Timmy's got the money.
yeah.
That's a score.
So Corvus, yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be a time win for Timmy. I'm gonna get out of this game so I can.
Get ready for the next one.
Yeah, we can go ahead and get ready for the next one.